I remember one time I was in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and I was sitting down and having a hot dog with Dolly Parton. And I must have been nervous or something. I probably was because, she was the biggest country superstar at the time. And I was sitting down there, and before I even took the first bite of my hot dog, I squirt ketchup all over my left wrist. And I was mortified. I thought, here you are sitting with country's biggest superstar, and you got ketchup all over your left wrist. And Dolly, she just put me completely at ease. Dolly, she looked over and she laughed. She laughed and she said, honey, we're going to have to take care of that because every time you check the time, you're going to think it's ketchup o'clock. And she got up. She just so graceful. She went right to the counter and she got me, I want to say four. She got me four white napkins and brought it back to the table and wiped the ketchup off. And, because that's the kind of person that she was. That's the kind of person that she was. Now, there was one time I remember in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, which was not too far away from where you're talking about, and this was way back in the day, and there was two gay people. We had two gay people at the time in Tennessee. One was named Charlie. He was Charlie when he wanted to hide that, but when he was gay, he was Charles. And the other one was called Fuzz. And the two of them were gay together. And this was, I say way back in the day, it was not like it is now, where you open up a mailbox and they jump out at you. It was a different time. And there was just two of them in the whole state. And they were being gay and they lived in this house. And this was right around the time of the AIDS epidemic, just at the start of that. So their whole house caught on fire. And things was flying around the house like poltergeist and spoons going this way and that. And you could hear demonic voices and stuff. And most country stars at the time, they wouldn't go anywhere near that place. They'd say, let the devil have them. Not Dolly. Dolly marched through seas of lava. And she go right up to them Addams Family Monsters house and she say, I command you to leave. And she'd blow and blow the flames away. And when it was all over and things went back to normal, the gay people would come up to Dolly and say, well, I imagine she probably wants us to be all Jesus people now. And they said, well, thank you for saving our lives. How can we pay you? And she'd say, honey, here's how you can pay me. Just keep being gay. And one of them, I think it was Fuzz. Fuzz says, well, what if this is just a phase? And she says, honey, that's fine too. You just be yourself. And then Charles says, well, what if I want to be you? And she says, honey, that's fine too. See, she was like that. She was kind of very Eastern in that way. Oh, Dolly was. Very, very Eastern. There's a book called Dolly on Dolly. And I forget if it was Salvador Dali writing about Dolly Parton or Dolly Parton writing about Salvador Dali. But there's a picture on the book of Dolly Parton just melting. Like, when Sid Barrett put that LSD in his hair. And it ain't for me. It ain't for the squeamish a touch, you know what I mean? And I don't know what that it kind of seemed a little sacrilege to me, but I'll tell you my favorite Dolly Parton story. Now a lot of people don't know this, but when she died, I don't know if you've all heard of social media out here on the planet Earth. You have? Okay. You got it down here too. Well, when she died, everybody in the entire world changed their picture online to her and came out with some kind of spurious tale about how they might have met her, like, spilling ketchup on themselves or being told it's okay to be gay. It just was like a lot, and it was sort of stretching credulity a little bit. And the same thing was happening around the same time with Tim Curry. People would say, well, I remember the first time I met Tim Curry, because there was multiple times I met him. We had to back in the day. It was a kind of an exchange program. He was over in America shooting a Rocky Horror Picture Show in Georgia. And I remember I was having a curry with Tim Curry, and I'd never had a curry before. And my eyes started to water. It was so hot. And Tim Curry, he was such a gentleman. I remember he looked right at me and he said, you're American, aren't you? I said, I sure am. Built, forward, tough, and proud of it. He said, you're American. You must have had Mexican food. I said, I sure have. He said, well, ain't that spicy? And I said, it sure is. And just by him reminding me that I've had Mexican food and Mexican food is spicy too, all of a sudden that spiciness I was feeling from that Indian curry didn't seem so spicy anymore. And that's the kind of man he was. Very, very gentlemanly. Very gentlemanly. And I'm going to post that tonight on X Twitter. And then I remember there's another time that this old boy was driving down the road and his car just falls apart. And the only part left of the car was the glove compartment and his hat, which isn't a part of a car, but he had his hat, lost all his clothes, sitting out there on the side of the highway holding a glove compartment. And Tim Curry's jogging by, because he was a big jogger. And he's jogging by and he stops. He said, what happened to your car? The guy says, I don't know. I'm just driving down the road. Car just disappears. All I've got left is the glove compartment. And without even asking him to, do you know what Tim Curry did? He sang Sweet Transvestite to him. That's the kind of man he was. We did lose two amazing individuals, Dolly Parton, and I don't mean to be irreverent, because I very much love the both of them, and been revisiting Dolly's albums all day, and it's just, but I have noticed this thing now, and that people who really could do something back in the day are dying, and then we're left with people like I'll tell you about this guy in a bit, but one of these Edinburgh people, but let's leave that aside. Let's talk about I am marketing again. Trying, touch wood, to market. And I have a show this Sunday, and I usually was going to do a video for the public again on Saturday, but I will be away, and I know it's weird. I don't take my computer with me. Yeah, you just leave the laptop? Yeah, I just leave the laptop. I don't take it with me. So I won't be around to... You mean you treat a laptop like a desktop? Yes, I do. Yeah, I find it cumbersome, so I won't be taking this with me, and I want you to know that if you want to buy a ticket, you go to the PayPal link, which will be included in the description. And let me just read that out to you, because I think that's something that people do in the planet Marketos. It's only £10 if you would like a ticket to reserve your name on the list. And some of you have actually purchased from the willfranken.com shop. You've purchased the Live at Dalton set, so hopefully that's going to be a repeat of that kind of fun that we had down in Brighton the first time. By the way, Monday's show was fun too, and hopefully this weekend we're going to have a video for that show, which is completely different material, on the willfranken.com online shop. So if you want to reserve a ticket, again, that is paypal.me/WB Franken. Once again, that's paypal.me/WB Franken. This, of course, will be listed in the description. And I have some rather interesting news. A friend of mine from the States, Phil, purchased 2 tickets. And I thought, first I saw that, I thought, wow, Phil's coming to Brighton. This is brilliant. I get to see Phil again. I've known Phil since high school. And then Phil actually wrote a note in the description that said, obviously I can't make it from the States. These are for basically 2 lucky individuals. So, who wants to come? Are you near Brighton? It could be 2 individuals coming on their own. It could be a couple. It could be somebody persuading somebody to come. It depends. But there are 2 tickets that have been purchased by Phil. It's kind of nice. It's like a little. However, I'm not allowing comments anymore. And I find that I bet because I'm doing this, not allowing comments there. I have a hunch that I'll be producing more stuff for the public. It's like this. You kind of like, because the thing is, okay, you want to talk. There's ways to but the question is how to get you. Well, some people might know my email, so you could do it that way. But it has to be first come first serve. Who gets these tickets? I know how. If you go to willfranken.com, the shop, there is a way that you can message me. So whoever gets there first and says, "Hi, Will, I'm going to be in Brighton or the area." Brighton, by the way, the venue is called Madame Lola's, and I'll be there Sunday, August 30th. I think I'm on at around 8 p.m., but let's say 7 just to play it safe. I said, "Hey, Will, I'm going to be in the area, and I'd like to see you before you die," because I've been walking around late. So I
said, oh, so-and-so died he died in his 50s. Nietzsche died in his 50s. Glenn Gould died in his 50s. Becoming very aware of who died in their 50s. And I know it sounds morbid, but I don't know. I don't know how much longer I can put up with this world. There's a guy in Edinburgh right now named Tom Short. And he has a show, apparently, that's called, because I do like to hate read. What's happening on that wank festival, that upper middle class wank festival that I took the piss out of in 2016, and I was never allowed to go back again. Because they all had their feelings hurt. Whether they were coming from the fake right or the fake left, they all had their feelings hurt. Fun's fun, but then there's fun that's funny for people who aren't comedians. And it's not fun to laugh at comedians. It really hurt. Because we're up here because we're trying. We come up here every year and we spend 10,000 pounds on posters, okay? Respect us. But there's a show up there this year by a guy named Tom Short called I Got ChatGPT to Write My Show. And I've read some apparently he is taking, and by the way, this is not an original idea because nothing's original about it. If you're using fucking AI, you're just not an original people lose jobs, motherfucker. I did some transcription, right? Every now and then I would get some, money doing transcription, right? It wasn't a lot of money, but every now and then you might get, 50 quid, doing some transcription. And the fucking company, the AI bots took over. But Tom Short is up there in the fucking Edinburgh, and what's his show called? His show is called I get ChatGPT to write my Edinburgh show, and apparently he is taking the laptop or however the fuck they do it, asking for suggestions from the audience, and the whole idea is to prove that humans do it a little bit better. For all of our faults, at the end of the day, hey, I guess it's nice to have who would have thunk, And there's this guy I really like. His name is Will Franken, and he takes on the AI shit, but he does it without using fucking AI. Motherfucker, there's a way to do it. One of my bits is, I want more AI. That's the sound of old people all over the world demanding access to more AI. At least that's what it sounds like. In fact, these are the latest creations from Genodyne Industries. Lifelike looking old people that have been programmed to demand more AI. It's a bit against AI without using AI. So he's bringing his fucking laptop up there that I can't believe, but he's not the only one that's had this quote unquote idea. You see the air quotes here, this quote unquote idea. Here's somebody that reviewed it saying, blah, blah. You could have the most sophisticated AI in the world, but without a comedian who can bounce off it the way Tom does, it simply wouldn't be the same. His ability to think on it, and then the reviewer has put an asterisk and said, keeping with the whole concept of the show, I put this final paragraph, asterisk, into ChatGPT to really praise and humor the comedian in his own format, and then the asterisk says, and only this paragraph. She gives it 5 stars. Chortle liked it. It's just fucking disgusting. The whole idea is that he wants to be famous, right? Surprise, surprise. But it's the reason I fucking hate a baby reindeer. And if you would like to purchase Silvatico Part 4, which is also called Baby Reindeer Part 2, that of course is my piss take on Baby Reindeer, because Richard Gadd and it's this new kind of moral vacuum where you go, I just wanted to be famous. So the guy stuck 2 fingers up your asshole. You didn't like that. You told him to stop. He stopped. He washed his hands. I'm talking about Baby Reindeer if you saw it. I watched it to make fun of it. So he washed his hands, and then you didn't like that, and you went back every fucking weekend to take more designer drugs with the guy because he worked for television. And you want us to fucking weep for you, you piece of shit? Oi! I just wanted to be famous. I don't want to do this. I want to be famous because there's a hole in my soul. So, yeah, that's the same thing we got. Now we get Tom Short up there going, I get chatty because I want to be famous. And he's getting all this praise. And who would have thought, and it teaches us something about being human. So his solution is to give AI more fucking airtime than it already fucking has. Bravo. Anyway, if you want a real human reaction, I would advise coming to see me before I kick the old bucket. What a prick. If the Tom Short show takes the world of AI to an interesting new level, using ChatGPT and AI, he takes suggestions from the audience to add into the AI script to create the format of a stand-up routine that is going to be award-winning. The idea is that the generator has the capability of creating a show that can't fail, or does it? What fucking bastards. These are the pricks who gave us fucking Fleabag. You can relate to this. A lot of women are mortified about buying tampons. Every woman who ever bought a tampon is just mortified. They have to send special people to buy their tampons for them. They're mortified. And they can all afford therapy. Wake. So anyway, if you want to see a real human being, my name is Will Franken, and I'll be at Brighton at Madame Lola's, which I think is in Kemp Town. Kemp Town ladies sing this song, doo-dah, talking about. Boy, I feel really free with no. I hate to say, because there's always going to be some prick. I thought you were this, and I thought you were that. I had you locked and loaded in this category, and you did this, and I don't like that. Be this. What about this? Do you still think this? Remember, oh well, whatever. You know, I cried when I found out Dolly Parton died. You know, but I don't do social media anymore. I don't write anything on social media. But I do voyeuristically look at what people are doing. Oh, did everybody meet her? Uh-huh. Yeah. I can't believe this was me eating her ankles. Gotta get in there. It's possible. You know, I met Chuck Berry. I met lots of people. I met Chuck Berry when I was 14. He came to the Missouri State Fairgrounds. And he was drunk as a skunk. And he fired his drummer on the stage. It was a perfect job. It was the fairgrounds in Missouri, and I was 14. And you basically wave the, the should we call it the people on their way down, right? Like the Turtles, right? They hadn't had a hit in ages, so they come. Flo and Eddie, they come through, and I waved them through the gates. And when I knew Chuck Berry was coming, I drew him a little poster, him singing. So, oh, Mr. Berry, and he was so nice. And then by the time the show was on, he was just dressed. Give me a fucking drummer who can keep the beat. And he fired his drummer on the stage. But I don't know. It's nice to have stories. It's just so much of the social media, and it's like, oh my God, come on. Can you just listen to her albums? I love her fucking music. I revisited 9 to 5 last night, and there's not much that my parents and I had in common really. But for some reason that movie. I was 7, 8 years old when that came out. We all watched that movie. My dad, who never laughed, he laughed at MASH, the TV series. Hated the film, which was a real film buff. I love the movie. I hate the TV show. He loved the TV show, and so we had nothing in common. But for some reason, that movie really hit. And my dad was not a progressive guy. In fact, he was pretty much a psychotic Neanderthal throwback. But he liked that movie, even with all of its women's lib messaging in it. And I was watching it last night. It's not that good a movie, really. It's really kind of bad. And then I started watching Straight Talk, which I've never seen before, but I like Griffin Dunn, and he's in that too. And it's just, bless her heart, she's so sweet. She really is, and she ends up, I'm just out here getting a cup of coffee. Sit down and do the radio show. You're the radio person, and then it turns out she knows how to do radio advice and all of that. But yeah, I've never seen Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Anyway, she's gone. And I just found out that Tim Curry's gone too, which of course necessitates a revisiting of I'm Going Home. Yeah. My, I'm a wild and an untamed thing. I'm a bee with a deadly sting. So I'm going to be at Madame Lola's on the 30th, Sunday. If you would like to claim those, I got 2 tickets, so it's first come, first serve. Reach out to me and I know somebody reached out to me to ask about the Purple Onion. They said, is it the same Purple Onion set that you're selling that you sold in person under the title Turn on the Window back when you lived in San Francisco? It's not. It's a different set. It's a set from when I was living in New York and flying in. Oh, those were the days, weren't they? That's before I got in all this trouble. Never work. You could work with Will. It might reflect badly on you. I heard that from 3 different people over the years. I was told I could work with you, but it might reflect badly on me. Really? Well, that's good. As long as you make the right decision. Are you going to book the guy who gets Chat GPT to write his... This is not a fucking drill, motherfucker. AI is fucking robbing people of livelihoods. This is not a fucking drill. It's not a cute fucking thing. And you know what? If you're already a fucking human, you don't need to do some social experiments. At the end of the day, I realize that maybe computers don't have it all. I knew that already, asshole. And my comedy's for people who already fucking know that. That's what my comedy's for, man. And I may have made some mistakes along the way. I got too fucking political. I got too messianic. But you know, at the end of the day, I want to show what humans can do, man. I'm a fucking human being, and I can do shit, and I can memorize shit, and I can do lots of different voices. And I can make fun of this shit without. Okay, in order to prove this point, I'm going to need a laptop. There was a, guy, Tom Binns. He got busted for child pornography a few years ago, and he was a darling. He was another BBC darling. He got busted for child pornography. I mean, how hard is it not to have child pornography? Just don't, lots of people, oh, and what was his defense? I had, it was one of those mental health things, ADHD, OCD maybe. I had OCD. In order to focus, I really have to look, whatever, just bullshit, right? And I remember years before that came out, there was a show, it was one of those theme shows in Edinburgh, where you had to do, it was kind of like an early roast, and you had to impersonate another, a comedian would go on, and then the next guy would go up and make fun of him. And I had to make fun of Tom Binns, and he had another character called something about a DJ. It was a hospital DJ and everything was done with an iPad. He brought an iPad up there, and the joke was the song. So it'd be something like the punchline is Hall and Oates. So you'd press play, And I didn't know what to make fun of. So I went up there and I said, "Does anybody have an iPad that I can use to write the majority of my set?" But this Chat GPT thing is just the ultimate disgrace. I get Chat GPT to write his name's Tom Short. And like I say, I've heard of other people doing this, quote, idea. We're going to bring AI on the stage to show that it can't do. And, if what they say is true, then you're really just, thank you for helping me learn. Thank you. You have helped me learn how to be more a thieving fucking bastard, to serve the incels of the world. Thank you for that. So, yeah, it's got really bad. So anybody's still doing the whole the culture war shit, woke, anti-woke, woke, anti-woke. I'm a nice person. I'm a mean person. None of it fucking matters anymore, because this third thing came through, right? And it's QR code. It's all sorts of other shit. It's all wrapped up in the it's just this third way. It doesn't give a fuck what you think. Twitter doesn't give a fuck what you think, or whatever it's called, X. It doesn't give a fuck what you think. Facebook never gave a fuck what you think. It's there just to serve the, it's there to get people to come, say, these fucking billionaires, and trillionaires. Yeah, but you're a millionaire. Well, yeah, but it's the billionaires you should be looking at. But I'm looking at you, man, because I'm not even 1,000-aire or 100-aire half the time. Okay, so have I done enough promoting? Have I promoted? Promoting, that's the word. It's not just marketing. I don't just market myself. I promote myself. That's been so, okay. The best way to, because I give away so much free stuff over the years. It's only when, Libsyn jacked up their rates. They were hosting my things we did before reality. And they jacked up, they almost 20 times they just, I said, wait a second, what the fuck am I doing giving this away for free? So those are for sale. All the shit's for sale now at willfranken.com. Very easy. Just think willfranken.com. It's the .com revolution. What can I say? It's happening. willfranken.com. And if you want to buy a ticket, or if you want to claim the 2 free tickets that Phil from America so graciously bought for you, then just drop me a line via willfranken.com. And as I say, first come, first serve. And, if you want to claim just one, claim one. Maybe somebody else can get another one. Or if you want to bring yourself and somebody else, for Sunday the 30th in Brighton at Madame Lola's around 7 to 8. I think doors open at 7. I'm on around 8. And you want to become a patron? Patreon.com/willfranken. And I always talk to the patrons. Always. So once a week and they get to know stuff you guys don't get to know, right? They get to know some of the fucking bastards I'm dealing with on, shall we say, legal level, on the legal level right now. I'm involved in something that is, I didn't want to be involved in, but sometimes you gotta step up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm stepping up against some local creeps and their greed. And that's all for the patrons. The patrons get updates on this every week. And I also interact with comments. you know, because it's just, you know, I'm not Graham Linehan. I don't respond to every single comment, and also I don't care about this. You know, I just don't give a shit about any of that stuff. You know, there's I made a lot of mistakes over my short comet-like career, and but no regrets, because today is today, right? And you know, and I've had some great shows, you know, and those who've seen the Dalton set and who are going to see the what was that place, Bread and Roses set from London recently, you know, I'm still writing, yeah, I'm still writing, I'm still creating, and my stuff is more in line with what I, before all of those fucked up detours that I took along the way. It's more, it's where I want to be, you know. So no matter what happens, no matter how poor I am, you know, and no matter how maybe unknown I am or obscure I am, I'm right. You know, I feel like I'm in the right place, you know. You gotta. I did the Fringe thing for 5 years, you know, and it was paid for me because there was no other way I could do it. I did it, but you know, when you see like that kind of stuff happening up there, like I get ChatGPT to write my show, because I don't really get it. That's why I don't really understand what that fucking means, right? You know, is it not? I mean, somebody actually, you know, somebody was talking about, another person had that same fucking idea, and they brought it up to me, and I said, do you know who you're talking to? That you would even say something like that, bringing a fucking, you know, I don't use it at all. And they were talking about the same, it was the same concept. It's like you bring the laptop on the stage, or however you do it, the robot or whatever, and you talk to it, and it gets it wrong, you know, that joke is fucking everywhere, right? I was watching, there was some documentary on Elon Musk or something, one of those fuckers, and the guy there was a robot, and he tried to shake the hand, but the robot didn't get the handshake right, and because it just proves that we are human after all. You know, because I'm such a fucking moron. I'm on so many fucking medications, and I watch such shit, quote unquote, entertainment. I don't even know what the fuck reality is anymore. Yeah, that might be funny. Like, oh, I thought the robots were smarter than that. Right? A lot of us didn't need that. A lot of us didn't need that. We knew already. But anyway, this person was talking about this idea. I said, do you know that you're talking to me about this shit? I said, first off, people are doing this already. I brought AI on the stage and I did a little double act with it. But I said, you know, isn't this shit not so fucking ubiquitous? That isn't it nice to go to a venue and it's like a sanctuary where you don't have to fucking see any of this shit? You could take a break from it. I mean, but no, you want it to be imprinted there too, in the fucking live performance space. Good on you, you fucking rat bag. Oh my Lord, doing a double act with it because it's a gimmick, and that's, you know, what do we expect from comedians, right? And that's one thing. If you come to the show in Brighton on the 30th of August, you're not going to see any stand-up comedians. And that's a good thing. It's a fucking great thing, you know, for all of the faults, you know, it's like, well, would you rather have bad poets, bad dancers, bad actors, whatever, you know, like bad comedians, my God, they are the fucking dregs. Because now it's all mixed up with some very important shit. Now these are artists, these are performance artists and musicians. It's an art night, right? Which, you know, can fall into pretentiousness for sure, but you know, at the same time, there's a little bit more. You know, like, I got. Well, so what? So sue me. I'm a comedian. So I use ChatGPT. That's the joke, though. That you don't get the joke. That's the joke. I brought the laptop on the stage. That's the joke. You're the one with the problem, because you're so serious. You're supposed to be a comedian. You're supposed to go, what do I care? Who cares? So sodomize me. Get a robot in here and sodomize me. And there's a whole, like, was this for the patrons? I think I did something for the patrons recently about, I don't like conflict. I don't like conflict. You can sodomize me, you can abuse me, urinate on me, and that's fine. But the moment I say stop that, then that's conflict, and I don't like conflict. I do not like conflict. You just, oh yeah, don't be so serious. Let the robot rape you. You take it too seriously. The moment you fight the robot off, then you're taking it too seriously. And I thought you're supposed to be a comedian. Chill out. Take a chill doobie. Take some ADHD medication, man. We're all doing it, you know. No, really, because I was like, I mean, I really like every time I had to like go somewhere. I've got Neil from the Young Ones. Every time I had to like do something, I couldn't concentrate. But then I got on the ADHD. I don't know what it's called, but we just always called it ADHD medication, and it just opened up worlds. Take acid. Do something creative, you know. At least take the right drugs. You know, they're not even taking the right drugs anymore. Yeah. Take the right drug. Drop a hit of acid. Now that's a commitment. Well, I take Simutrex because that regulates my sadness, and then for my serotonin uptake re-inhibitors, I take 2 of those a day just to keep even. And in case I get too out there with my anger, I take niroflaxin. And then if my penis gets too hard, I take flacidon. And then I'm just right down the middle of the road. And I'm all ready to go up and down the Royal Mile. Just make a commitment. You got 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours. Drop a hit of acid. Then just, and then just see if and then compare that to the Prozac. God, I'm really dating myself here now, or whatever it is you take now. Take a hit of acid. Just commit yourself to that and see how you come out the other side. And then you will see how much bullshit you have been. No. I shouldn't. I'm not really endorsed. I haven't done that in ages. I haven't done it for 4 years, and then before that it was 2 years, and before that it was a fucking 20 years. So it's been quite a long time. But I just should stop talking now. And I'll just close with this one other story. I just want to make sure everybody I've known. I want to be very clear. I do love Dolly Parton very much. I cried last night. I didn't cry watching 9 to 5. It's not a very good. I remember when I do remember the line when she said, "I get some ranchers to come over there and beat the shit out of them." I thought probably because my dad listened to country all the time. He listened to contemporary country, so whatever was playing on the AM radio at the time, he was listening to country. And Dolly was one of those exceptions. I love Dolly. I love Loretta Lynn, Tammy Wynette. I like. Most Johnny Cash, of course, that's a given, but he's not really. I mean, he's not crossover necessarily, but it's just in that direction. Merle Haggard and blah blah blah. Willie Nelson, of course, but he would listen was it "Set 'Em Up Joe" or "Just a Swangin'"? Remember that Novelty song? I'm sitting on the porch, Charlotte and me, just a swangin'. John Anderson, that was the guy's name, not the singer from Yes. That's another John Anderson. But Dolly, what an institution she was, So there's not that, but it's all those people that when you don't. I don't remember the last time I ever wrote anything online, a post. It could be. I think it's about 5 or 6 years now. I've not posted anything about what I think about anything. I make a video and I'll put it up on Facebook, but I won't interact with any comments. Nothing. Just right. And it's nice. But I still voyeuristically look at what people are doing, and it's they're still doing this stuff. I really anyway that's the whole premise, for lack of a better word. That's the whole premise with the show on Sunday is that the guy that organizes. I've worked a couple times with him, and the whole premise is he actually wrote a book. Which is called Now What? I've got some copies over there, but one of the things that I like, and this goes to my favorite, one of my favorite Blake quotes is, "Without contraries is no progression, as well as opposition is true friendship." Because we don't have any kind of revolution, right? Everything, especially in this country, everything is vertical, right? Landlords are greedy, and they go to the terrified person, and the terrified person says, "Okay, I'll talk to the benefits, see if they can pay you more," and then he just funnels right up, right? And then every now and then somebody comes along and says, "You know what? Fuck you, you creep," right? But yeah, this is so without contraries, there's no progression. You have to push back against something, right? So take this Tom Short thing. I get ChatGPT to write my show. There's no contrary, because guess what? We're gonna fucking have AI, whether you like it or not. It's coming. It's a monolith.
It's that nobody. Do you see Andy Burnham say, no, 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 that's way too, no, no, stop the data set. No, 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 that's enough. No, no. I won't have it in schools. No, I won't. And no artwork, and I'm not going to have the data set. No, no, no data centers. No, won't have it. Won't have it. Do you see Donald Trump stopping it? No. Who's stopping it? Nobody's stopping it. We're going to have it anyway. So when Tom Short writes his fucking show, I get Chat GPT. He didn't write a show. I get Chat GPT to write the show. Wink, wink. Get it? There's no contrary. There's no progression. It's just the way of things, which means he's not a fucking artist, is he? Because an artist will push back, create with opposition. So one of the things that Sam, the guy, writes about in his book, and I love this, he says that we have in the state, the view of the state, we have art that comforts the comfortable and disturbs the disturbed. Right? So when I see all of this, I get ChatGPT to write my show, it disturbs me. That this is being, shows like this are being, oh, what a clever idea. That disturbs me. But it comforts the comfortable. People, they're just okay, maybe upper middle class. Oh, it's just a little harmless chatting with a GPT thing. It's comfortable, right? Or when you look around, you say, God, this is fucking insanity. And you look around, and everybody's just okay with everything. And I say, what kind of art? The film Mephisto, and I got to wrap up here soon, but the film Mephisto, 1981, with Klaus Maria Brandauer, wonderful film, Mephisto, about a guy who, he's a theater director, and it's not like he's a raging Nazi, but he certainly is no friend to the human race either, because he's like, well, the show must go on. I have to keep running because the theater must go on. I'd like to get involved with saving the Jews, but I can't because the show must go on. And that's the way the state is. Hopefully it will change, but for now, the show must go on, right? And there's a scene in there that always chills me to the bone, and he's directing. And so the question is, what kind of quote-unquote art can you have in Nazi Germany? Nothing real. You can't have anything that deals with anything having to do with fucking reality. So there's a scene where he's directing this woman. He goes, "That's it. Yes, yes, beautiful. Now you are conveying the proud German Hausfrau." And I thought, yes, that's it. Like everything's fine here. Nothing to see here, folks, right? And so when the BBC asks for your license fee, right, and you look at all of the bollocks that's just on offer. Ramesh, have you seen that Ramesh Ranganathan thing? During the World Cup, they were. He did his little, was it a 5-minute? What has the BBC ever done for us? And it's got all of the shit that's on the BBC right now, besides the World Cup, which, by the way, the BBC didn't have all of the games, which I should mention, right? But, they had the World Cup, University Challenge I like, and I have been watching EastEnders, right? But, come on. I mean, that's about, there's not a lot on offer, right? Certainly not what they had back in the day. And he's out there, he's, what have the BBC ever done for us? What have the BBC ever done for us? This is just the state saying fund the state. Fund the state and fund the state's notion of art. And you will get state art. And it will be comfortable if you're comfortable in the state. And if you're not comfortable in the state, and why would you be if you're a real fucking human being, then you won't get any art that comforts you. You'll be fucking disturbed, man. Anyway, so I want you to come to see me, Will Franken, redeemed, right? Come see me, Brighton, Sunday, the 30th of August at Madame Lola's. And I will deliver art that will disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. I'll do that for you. So if you'd like to claim those free tickets that Phil so graciously bought for you, please go to willfranken.com, and there's a way you can contact me through there. And hopefully you'll be the first, may the best man or woman win. If you'd like to buy a ticket, it's only £10, and you can do that by going to PayPal. What the hell was that link again? But you can go to, what the fuck is it? You can go to paypal.me/WB Once again, that's paypal.me/WB to purchase a ticket for £10 in advance, and I'll put your name on this handwritten list. You can become a patron if you want to hear my weekly chats and also talk to me in person, a lot of my patrons have actually met me. We've had drinks and stuff, and I'm actually working. We went to
a couple of them came up for the show on Monday, and I don't want to give away a bit, but there was this. We ended up going to after the show. We ended up going to this loud gay bar with a drag performer, and the music was so loud, and I was working on that theory about, because you couldn't have a nuanced conversation. The music was just so loud. They even played the EastEnders theme at one point, which I did like, because da 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 da, and I have words to that, by the way. Every time I put on, which is welcome all to Albert Square. There is lots of love, but lots of hate, so beware. Friend can often turn off. Anyway, silly little childish song, but anyway, it was so loud there. Then I said to the patrons, and I said, people don't want to talk to the people they're going to fuck. Right? So I had this idea of a very nuanced philosophical conversation about Spinoza. So but yeah, in a pantheistic framework, right? Is there such a thing as free will? Because you could say that there's a deterministic nature to pantheism, right? So how does free will happen in the Spinoza universe? And then the music just gets so loud, and the people get so tired of the conversation. I said, because if all infinity is just one thing, then how can you break apart from that and have any sense of, oh fuck it, would you like to stick your penis in my asshole? Okay, meet me outside by the dumpster. And then they go out to the dumpster, and one of the guys takes down his trousers and getting ready to whip his dick out. And the guy said, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mislead you. I couldn't hear myself thinking there. I just wanted to talk about that Spinoza thing. Yeah, I'm sorry if that was I led you on, but yeah. So I don't know if I'll be able to do it down there. I have to text the guys, see if they got any tech capabilities. I'm sure they might, but that might be one thing to do, to try to do just a couple out there talking about Spinoza, something really subtle. And then all of a sudden it's like, I said, is there free will in a deterministic universe? Oh, fuck it. Do you have a penis? Would you like to shove that in my hole? Okay, I'll see you out back, and we'll put the penis in the hole. So, have I been clear about everything? Yes, I think I have. PayPal, I can never remember this. And I should, because it's very easy, it's very catchy, it's got a ring to it. PayPal.me/WB Franken. If you want to buy tickets for Brighton this Sunday, the 30th of August, at Madame Lola's, only £10, cheap, and I'll put your name on the list. Or if you're one of the two lucky ones, if you go to willfranken.com, the shop, and say, hey man, I want to, did I win? Did I put my name in first to get one of those 2 free tickets? Or just email me and say, hey, I'm coming, I want to bring a friend, give them both to me, and you're there first, you get it. Otherwise, for everybody else, go to the PayPal link and pay £10 for a ticket. Or you could do something nice like Phil did and say, hey man, I'm in Idaho. I'm in what's that? The Azores. I'm in there. I can't go, but help give these to some nice people, some nice English people that can come see you in Brighton. So go to the PayPal link. They'll be in the description. Please visit the shop, because live shows are available, albums. The Silvatico 6 is coming to a close now. I finally got the bookends that I wanted. I was got the middle bit, and I was like, oh yeah, I know how I want to start this now. I'm not going to give it away, but I know how it's going to start, and it's evil sounding. I love it. And it's about death and cosmic, blah blah blah. And then it goes into the main body. So now I'm finishing up the bookends, and it's where I want it. So that's coming out soon, and that will be the first one that does not go to the internet first. It's going to go right to the Will Franken shop. So if you want to buy it, if you want to see your name in the creds, please make a donation, or go to the shop and buy any one of myriads of products, including putting smiles on the faces of dead people, stuff I was making when I was as young as 19, because I don't know how much longer I have left on this earth. Anyway, do check that out. So that's willfranken.com, PayPal, what the fuck is that? PayPal.me/WB Franken, or become a patron at patreon.com/Will Franken. With that, I got to skedaddle because there's shit to get done. That's August 30th, Madame Lola's in Brighton, this coming Sunday. Enjoy Bank Holiday weekend, and I hope to see you down there. God bless. Good night.